What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have some Star Wars news on the Acolyte episode 3 that we have to talk about. But before we do get into it, remember, hit the subscribe, like, and notification bell so you're always in the know. Don't forget also as well, if you enjoy this channel and the content, give a donation by hitting that super button. That way we can grow and do more on our content here on the Eternal Sith channel. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So episode 3 is here. Gave us a lot in a sense of not much good stuff because, again, you have seen it in the fandom. It's been very divided. And again, you're always going to have people that do appreciate, content like this or other content. And again, it's not made for everybody, so I will be that balance here, but I will give you my thoughts and opinions at the very end of this video. But I want to talk about some of the things that I noticed in the episode. Now, we noticed that the Brendok witches have the ability to possess others. One of the first ones that we did see, or just one of the ones that we did see out of the two, was that of Master Torben in yesterday's video. And it was interesting when we saw the episode because they felt infiltrated when the Jedi did come. So they ended up taking him, and that's why they didn't want their daughters to really go with them. But they ended up giving in, and they came to some kind of, I guess you could call it, a truce. But then also the other one was that of Osha and her vision, which shows Mae with black eyes. Now, the next thing that I did notice as well was how they called the Force the thread. Now, the witches know that the Jedi call it the Force, but they're changing things up. And this is one of the things that I didn't really appreciate so much, but it was interesting to see their take on the Force as they kind of were showing the daughters that and what it looked like to them, but it's still the Force. But it's interesting to see that. And the next one is that of Mae and Osha and how they were the only children. And Osha was bothered by the lack of other children. And you saw that frustration, and that's why she wanted to leave the planet. And I'm still curious to see, well, we'll talk about that at the very end. But yes, I was wondering why there weren't any other children, why they were the only two. I'm curious to learn more about that as the season does go on. Now, Alder, Mother Anissa created the twins with the Force, much like, yes, Anakin Skywalker. The twins were born from the Force itself. And I thought that was very interesting because I'm here thinking, and I think this is where, for me at least, this is where it started taking me out, because I'm just like, yeah, they're kind of copying exactly what Anakin Skywalker was. And that was something that was a bit confusing to me because I thought this was going to be something different and I wanted to see something different. But again, things could change. Maybe there's some other thing that they want to talk about, and it's not even called the Force to them. It's called the thread. So in reality, I guess it's not through the Force towards them, but that's not something I really appreciate. But like I said, I'll talk about it at the very end. Now, the next thing was that they believe that the Jedi are bad, and the witches seem to fear the Jedi. And that was something that was pretty interesting because Mother Anissa already expressed the distaste for the Jedi when she explained that the witches disagree with the idea that one can use or wield the Force. Now, episode 3 does also make the Jedi kind of seem predatory, and it's pretty interesting when they do infiltrate the Coven's fortress and they demand to test these girls. I thought that was something interesting, but we kind of have always known that. So it's not news to us that they do go looking or seeking young Padawans or young Force-sensitive children. So, I mean, the way, I guess it makes it kind of look that aggressive kind of tone, I think it's just normal. It's standard protocol of them kind of seeking out young Force sensitives in order to bring to the Jedi Order. Now, the other thing was that they were massacred 16 years before the Acolyte. So far, the death remains a mystery of the village and the coven. And overall, I'm curious to see how or what it is that destroyed them. Was it really Mae, or did she have an assist? Could it be the Sith Lord that we do see in the first episodes? Now, like I said, the witches believed Osha and Mae had a unique destiny, and Mother Koro says the twins are not the typical type of children. So there's a lot that I'm curious to see what they're going to do and how they're going to make this all kind of go full circle and make it make sense, because I will say this episode was a little bit confusing, and maybe it's because they didn't finish the flashback, but it's like, it kind of reminds me of a Book of Boba Fett, where we're doing a lot of flashbacks, and I get it. This is kind of uncharted territory where we're learning more about this character or these characters, but I don't know, I will say, I don't really appreciate, you guys know me, I'm usually in the middle, or I try to keep it a balance, but there's just a lot that they're trying to push, and I think that's where the confusion is coming from, and I think they just need to stick to making Star Wars content that is just Star Wars content and not just trying to push some sort of a political narrative, because then that's when, at least for me, I start getting tuned out, to be honest with you. But that's just my opinion, guys. I mean, again, we obviously know the things that the director has said, the writer has said, Leslie Headland. We know Amalda Steinberg, some of the comments that she has said. It's really concerning to me because if those are the things that they said in interviews, it's really showing here in the show so far in a sense of what is predominant in the series. But again, I'm okay with that. I have no problem. Again, Star Wars is for everybody, but I just think that they need to focus more on just making content with a good story. And again, show's not over, so we'll see what happens. But guys, let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments section. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Make sure to hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.